Hello and welcome to the Learning Reading Hub. Today we're going to be looking at the differences between analytic and synthetic phonics. It may be that your child is learning to read at school and you have been told that on the curriculum they have some phonics instruction. Or maybe you're just trying to figure out which is the best way to teach your child to read. So, whatever your personal circumstances, after watching this video, you will be able to know the difference between these two ways of teaching phonics, and you will have a clear understanding of which one makes more sense for your child. By the way, if you are new to this channel, I just wanted to let you know that this channel is all about resources and information about teaching your child to read. So if you're interested in this topic, consider subscribing because we create weekly content. And if you hit on the bell icon, you will be notified every time we publish new videos. And now, without further ado, let's begin. If you have been researching about phonics instruction, you may have noticed that this is a huge topic and that there are in fact many different methods for teaching phonics within the phonics system itself. The two most popular methods are analytic and synthetic phonics. However, you must know that even though both of them have the label phonics attached to them, they are in fact very different in their approach to teaching reading. Analytic phonics is named after the word analyze, because this is precisely the core of what you're asking the child to do. Analyze the words that he or she is presented with. When you're analyzing words, you're basically doing detective work and looking for clues and cues. These cues can be graphic cues. What do the letters tell you about what the word could be? Syntactic cues. What kind of word could it be? For example, a noun or a verb. Semantic cues. What word would make sense here based on the context? And initial sound cues. Look at the first letter of the word. Do you know what sound that letter makes? If so, put all the information together and make a guess. As you can see, phonics itself occupies only a tiny portion on this type of decoding system. Also, huge emphasis is put on the initial sounds of words. You basically look at the first initial sound and guess, as explained based on the rest of the cues and clues that you're presented with. On a synthetic phonics program, children are first taught the 44 sounds of the English language, and then introduced in a systematic way to the possible ways those sounds can be represented. Think of the sound f as in the first sound of the word feet. This sound can also be represented like P plus 8, like in photograph, or like G plus 8, like in laugh. So, when you use a synthetic phonics approach, you teach the 44 English sounds first, and from there, you teach the different ways in which these sounds can be represented. On an analytic phonics approach, it is the other way around. You work from the letters. You concentrate on the 26 letters of the alphabet and their more common corresponding sounds. This can be problematic because, as you have just seen, we can have the same phoneme or the same sound represented in completely different ways and with completely different spellings. A synthetic phonics method places a lot of emphasis on the teachers pronouncing the phonemes correctly and sounding out the words correctly. By the way, if you're interested in this specific topic of how to sound out words correctly, check the link above, as I have created a whole video about how to sound out words correctly. I will also leave a link on the video description. On the other hand, on an analytic phonics approach, there is not so much emphasis on the individual sounds, as words tend to be looked as a whole. You will encounter many educators that will be adding the sound when they are teaching letter names and letter sounds, which is a habit that causes a lot of problems when you actually try to sound out words. In fact, sounding out words correctly is at the core of the synthetic phonics approach. Children are first told to segment words, that is, recognize the individual sounds in words. For instance, for the word chat, they would actually be able to recognize that it's formed by the individual sounds ch, a, t. And then, on a more advanced level, they move to blend those sounds, push all the sounds together, or synthesize them to actually read the word chat. When can you start with the synthetic phonics approach? In general, children are ready to start from an earlier age. However, in order to put all the clues and cues together that analytical phonics relies on, you need a certain degree of intellectual maturity, so this approach will really work with small children. On an analytic phonics program, spelling is tackled separately. However, children on a synthetic phonics program learn to read and spell at the same time. Remember that they are looking at every single phonemic words as they are decoding these words, placing the same level of importance to each individual sound. On an analytic phonics program, they're just looking at the first word as the first sound, and looking at words as a whole. So this is why spelling needs to be tackled separately. On an analytic phonics program, you focus a lot on rhymes and what we could call families of words. For instance, the family of the words ending in at, like cat, pat, rat, mat, fat, bat. You focus, as you can see, on the word as a whole. Exceptions and irregularities are also taught in this way. For instance, say you're reading a book and the child encounters the word small. You explain to the child how this word needs to be read, small, and at the same time you explain that there are other words that belong to this family of words, such as tall, call, fall, mole. On a synthetic phonics system, children are introduced to books that are appropriate to their level. They reinforce this way what they know before moving to the next stage. On an analytic phonics system, there is no so much stress on this, as much of the learning is actually done in an incidental way. So it is actually assumed and expected that the child will encounter words that he or she won't be able to decode. This is where the cueing system comes into play. I think I have gone over now the main differences among the two approaches. If you want to know even more about the synthetic phonics approach, I will leave you some links to valuable resources on the video description that you can check out. And I will also include a link to a video that I created not very long ago that is all about the synthetic phonics approach. I hope you found value on this video. If so, I would really appreciate if you could hit the like button because it really helps the channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. See you on the next video.